Adam, Marriage Story is semi-autobiographical. Were you playing your director?
I mean, like all of these things, Noah wrote a script. He did that hat trick that people, I think, try to do of writing something that's incredibly specific, but it reaches a broader audience. I mean, like anything, like Meyerowitz, like, you know, Squid and the Whale, While We're Young, they're all, in a sense, autobiographical. But he wrote something that I think we all projected our history onto.
What was the toughest moment for you in that film? Or was there one that you really struggled with?
Usually there's like one scene in a movie, or maybe two, that you're dreading. With this one, every scene felt like, oh, it's all too early in the schedule. It's too early for Halloween. It's too early for...
Put it off for a year.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, then we can maybe put it to next week. But then next week's was worse, you know, so and that, again, that's, I think, a testament to good writing. Every scene felt... The stakes were incredibly high. They all felt urgent. They all felt necessary. There wasn't a part that you could take out where the movie would survive without it. And so that I think it was our first sign of, oh, this felt like it always should be this urgent, hopefully. If it was badly written, there's only one way to do it. If it's well written, you know, the language is so rich that every time you say it, it opens up an idea for something else. And because Noah has structured, and Adam knows this from working with Noah and Meyerowitz, because the script is the script, it feels very much like theater, I guess, where you're talking about where the boundaries are very clear. The text is the text, and I find that incredibly freeing, because your intention could be anything. And if you're with another actor as Scarlett in that instance, and the set is, Noah's giving you another piece of information that maybe you hadn't thought of before, or the line, or you got in a fight with your wife before the scene starts, or maybe nothing. Maybe you're having a good moment before the scene starts. It just opens up your imagination of a different way of reading it. You know, he's taken basically a 4-month run of a play and condensed it to 2 days. You know, so that I think that's easier. If it's just have an emotion, I don't think I can do that.
Adam, you were in the military.
Right away.
Acting in drama, dying, or comedy, do they seem trivial in comparison?
Well, I mean, one, the stakes you're pretending are life and death, and the other, they kind of are. But the process in which you work on them is the exact same. It's, you know, a group of people trying to accomplish a mission that's bigger than any one person, and you have a role, and you have to know your role within a gun team, and you're only as good as the people that are there with you. There's someone leading it, and when they know what they're doing, what you're doing feels active and relevant and exciting, and when they don't, it feels like a waste of resources and dangerous, and you're just so aware that you're one part of a bigger picture.
How did you switch from being a Marine to being an actor?
I was interested in it before being in the military. Then when you get in the military, you get out, you kind of have all this false confidence that civilian problems will be small in comparison, which is an illusion. But then I was lucky enough to get into an acting school and learned about acting and plays and a process. And then I was lucky enough to work.
You self-critical?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that you ever get over, because in a way you kind of know what your potential is more than anybody else in a sense. I have a lot of regret often when you leave a set. You can't help but think about it, and obviously it's film, so film is forever, so you never get a chance to go back and do it again. I feel like that's the thing about acting, is that you, regardless of how often you do it or how long you do it, you never figure it out. That
even do you prefer theatre because of that, or?
I've learned from theatre in that, you always at the end of a 4-month run of a play, you're always the last performance. It's always the best one, and you're like, okay, now I have a better sense of what I want to do and go back. So I know that there's no right answer. There's no right way to play a scene. That's my part of it. I like the making of it, and it's someone else's responsibility to make the choice of what is the best version of it. And you would just have to feel comfortable with failing. And you either get easier on yourself, I think, about like, okay, then I'll let it go, or you don't. But I don't think you'll ever figure that out, Wes. So I think people keep doing it, I think. But I don't know. being more economical. I think I wish I could be. You know, things that I think I need, I don't. Whether it be acting or life.
Economical, artistically, financially, emotionally?
Well, we could say artistically, I guess. If you think that you need to, certain things have to be in place for you to do your job, but then actually none of that's true. We were using the example earlier of a porthole. Having it worked up in your mind and then realize you're getting there, you have no control over any of it. So. Or doing homework and research and losing weight and putting a bunch of weight and then feeling comfortable to let it all go because none of that is helpful because your scene partner is drunk. Or, I'm just pulling that. That's not something that's happened to me. It's just pulling something out of it. But being more economical with, okay, well, all that time I have to either get better about that I've wasted it, or I shouldn't just waste that time and actually should prioritize in a different way. So I think that's kind of the same thing.
Hey, I'm Shia LaBeouf.
Hey, I'm Jamie Foxx.
Hi, I'm Tom Hanks.
I'm Adam Sandler. Thank you for watching Hollywood Reporter Roundtables.
Roundtables on YouTube.
I think that's the one right there.